G'day, it's JJ, and I'm here traveling Cambodia on the hunt for wild experiences in this incredible country. Over the next few days, I'll be heading to the eastern province of Mondulkiri, meeting some gorgeous elephants. But before that, I'm on the lookout for one of the rarest dolphins in the world, right here in Kratie.
I have just arrived in Kratie, or Kratie, depending on who you ask. It's a little bit confusing. I've seen it written with a T, I've seen it written with a CH, and I've heard it pronounced in two separate ways as well. So if there's any Cambodians watching, I am sorry if I am pronouncing it wrong. Hopefully I get one of the two right. But Kratie is a little town here, basically nestled on the Mekong River. And this stretch of river here basically goes right through the middle of Cambodia, kind of towards that eastern side, and that is where Kratie is located. Now the reason I have come here may be a little bit surprising, because I am literally hundreds of kilometers from the ocean, but I have come here to go dolphin watching. There is a species of freshwater dolphin called the Irrawaddy Dolphin, and they can actually survive in the fresh waters of the Mekong, which is absolutely insane. They are a critically endangered species with only about 100 left in existence, and it's my goal to get out there and try and find them. Now, something I've already noticed is this town is very much centered around this dolphin watching and dolphin tourism. Every sign, every hotel has got a picture of a dolphin on it or is named after a dolphin. So this is actually one of the biggest draw cards to coming to this area. I think for any tourist, there's not much else going on. It's basically all about the dolphins. Now the spot where the dolphin boats leave from is actually about another 15 kilometers in this direction. So right now the task is to find a tuk-tuk. All right, here we go, found one.
Yeah.
Hey mate, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Good, thanks. What are you? 13, yeah?
13.
13, sounds good.
And then you pay the boat $10 for the boat.
Sweet, sounds good, man. Yeah. All right, let's roll. All right, just arrived and got my ticket for the dolphin boat. This is nice, man. This river is so wide, like it doesn't even look like a river. It's huge. This is just a tiny stretch of it. I think it goes for, like 6,000 kilometers or something. Don't quote me on that. And now it's time to find a boat and a driver to take us out to see some dolphins. So these are the simple wooden boats that they take people out on to see the dolphins. I guess they'll do the trick. Alright, and here we are. I'm keen to get out there, mate. This looks amazing. Hello. So basically, as soon as we've come out here, we've seen dolphins. It looks like there's two groups. It is impossible shooting conditions because of where the sun is. They're mainly hanging out in front of the boat, and that reflection is just awful. But these are the most incredible little dolphins. They've got a really round head. They don't have like a long rostrum like a bottlenose dolphin, for instance. Irrawaddy Dolphins, even the word is fun to say. And I think what's so special about seeing these guys, even though it's just a few fleeting glimpses, is there is around 100 in this stretch of the Mekong River. 100. They're a critically endangered subpopulation. But this is just magic, man, because it's so quiet out here. Even when they're 50 meters away, you can hear them come up, take a breath. This is really, really cool. We haven't even turned the motor on the boat. The guy's literally just paddling around, so we can kind of float in nice and close. All right, I'm gonna concentrate and try and get some better shots now. See this disturbed patch here? Literally just went under the boat. Now they're on this side. You never quite know where they're going to pop up. They're not really following any patterns as they're moving around. And also, This is a bit of a conservation comeback story. Since they've kind of managed and controlled fishing in this area of the Mekong, the population's slowly starting to increase, which is fantastic. They're certainly still under threat and not out of the woods yet, but they're making a little bit of a comeback, so that's a good start. We're slowly heading back into shore now. These guys are pretty strict. You got 1 hour out here on the river with the dolphins. Otherwise you got to buy another ticket, which I might do tomorrow. Mate, this is just absolutely insane. So beautiful and serene and peaceful out here. And the sounds that you can hear, like I hear a boombox over that way playing some nice Khmer Cambodian music. You hear a rooster occasionally. All the sounds fit the part of this stunning location. The sun's starting to get a bit lower now as well. So glad I made it out here, man. So glad. It's a mission to get nearly anywhere in Cambodia other than Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, but it's worth those long dusty roads, those long travel days. It's so worth it to get to places like this. And the people are just so awesome as well. My rower, he doesn't speak any English, but we communicate via smile. You know, you can see I'm having a good time. Makes him happy, he's having a good time. And we're back. Thank you so much. Now I've worked up a sweat. Got a feeling the dust on the way back is gonna stick.
Bravo.
It's always a bonus when your tuk-tuk driver is a really nice fella. Now I've just got back to Kratie, the main town, and the sun has just set over the other side of the river there. It was really quite beautiful seeing that set as I was coming back. Now my plan for tomorrow was to get a bike and head back down along the river, maybe go see the dolphins again, but after driving that road via tuk-tuk, I don't think it's going to be the best bike road. You know, it took nearly half an hour, probably longer than half an hour to get there by tuk-tuk, so I think a push bike is going to be pretty hard work. So to be honest, what I'm probably going to do is just relax here on the river. I know I've got a few big days coming up in Mondulkiri, heaps of wildlife out there, so I'm excited for that. So I think now it's just time to take it easy for a while, and then I'll see you when we keep heading further east to Mondulkiri. Alright, so it's a pretty early start this morning, heading out to Mondulkiri. I think it's going to be a 4-hour bus, so not as long as some of the other ones I've done. And I'm super keen to get there, man, because there's 2 big things on the agenda. One is elephants, and the other one is getting back out into the jungle looking for primates, you know, more gibbons, monkeys and stuff like that. So it's going to be a pretty wild time. But I was also reflecting this morning, this is my last stop here in Cambodia. By the time I'm done, it's been nearly a month, which is a pretty significant amount of time to spend in any country. Starting to have those reflective moments because it is actually coming towards the end. Also, if you notice my big plastic water bottle in the background, my reusable water bottle broke, so I had to throw it out and I haven't had a chance to get a new one yet. Most of the guest houses and hostels here in Cambodia have had, you know, big water coolers, so, you know, I can hang on to one of these for, you know, as long as possible. You know, I think my longest one's been going for nearly a week now and top up, but this place doesn't have one. So unfortunately, I do have to buy one pretty regularly, which is really frustrating. So I've just arrived in Sen Monarom, which is the capital of Mondulkiri province here in Cambodia. And although this is the largest province by size, it's actually the smallest one in regards to population density. And this is the capital here, and mate, it's like a little village, it's not a city. I'd hardly classify it as a town. This has a completely different feel to anywhere else that I've been in Cambodia so far. It has some of the best jungles and forests here in Cambodia, some of the best waterfalls in Cambodia, but also a huge draw card is elephant tourism, which is one of the main reasons that I'm here. No way, that's a white buffalo. It's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a white buffalo before. That's wild. Now, elephant tourism and traveling in Southeast Asia are basically synonymous. So many people, when they come to this part of the world, want to see elephants. But Asian elephants are pretty difficult to see in the wild in this part of the world. So that is where elephant tourism kind of steps in and fills that void. However, there are a lot of grey areas when it comes to the ethics of elephant tourism. In fact, during my very first trip to Southeast Asia, which was nearly 10 years ago now, which is kind of crazy, I made a documentary, which is still up on YouTube, about the elephant industry and, the ins and outs of that. Now, I will confess, I was pretty naive back then. I'd like to think I know a lot more about this industry now than I used to, but there is still just a lot of blurred lines when trying to figure it out. And I guess now more than ever, there's a lot of buzzwords being thrown around like sanctuary and conservation, and words that are kind of getting mixed into this industry that may not necessarily have their full meaning. At the end of the day, a lot of these guys are running businesses as well as helping elephants, but some are simply just running businesses, and it may be to the detriment of the elephants and their welfare. So it can be really, really hard to tell the ins and outs of an elephant sanctuary or elephant camp when you go to visit. But my biggest advice would be to simply do as much research, do your due diligence, go digging and try and figure out as much as you can yourself. Email people, contact them, just figure out if this is the elephant experience that you want to have. Now, elephant tourism isn't as developed here in Cambodia as it is in places like Thailand, but here in Mondulkiri, it is the hotspot for it. And there are a few different places that you can go to see elephants. And the one that I landed on in the end is a place called the Elephant Valley Project, the EVP. So the project here is situated on about 1,500 acres, which is a lot of space, and they've only got 7 elephants. So from arriving kind of at the main entrance, I've actually had to drive by 4-wheel drive, into the jungle to kind of find where the elephants are hanging out, which is pretty cool. That's a lot of space for them to kind of get out there and do their elephant things. And this area is actually a parcel of land that's been handed back to the Bunong people, and it actually backs onto some of the biggest tracts of land and forests that still exist here in Cambodia. So occasionally they actually have wild elephants coming in to say g'day to the elephants that they have here at the sanctuary. And here we go, just come across our first elephant. She is absolutely beautiful. Mate, she is absolutely beautiful. I don't think there is another animal that puts such a smile on my face. Just that first time you see an elephant, it's just so special. It's so cool. I've talked before about how certain animals are just kind of like up there on that pedestal for me, that just create that sense of awe that others don't. And elephants, mate, they're pretty close to the top. You cannot help but be entranced with them. And I just, can't wipe the smile off my face being so close to these beautiful old girls. Both of them are pretty old, in their 50s and 60s. One of them actually doesn't have any teeth left, so, she's probably a little bit worse for wear, but, they've got this life where they can just kind of chill and hang out in the jungle here. This place really focuses on giving the elephants as much dignity and respect as possible. And now they have retired from that life of, tourism in the traditional sense. They've come out here, they're still involved in tourism, but being allowed to do what elephants do, which I think is why I gravitated towards Elephant Valley Project. It's hands off, there's no touching or feeding or bathing like a lot of other places have, which I'm not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but this is truly allowing the elephants to be elephants, exhibit those more natural behaviors. And those are the kind of experiences that I'm really looking for when I come to see elephants in Southeast Asia. And so far, this one has certainly ticked those boxes. Just being able to watch them do what they want to do, it's really quite beautiful. So this is basically the day here at the project. You just walk around the forest following the elephants around, getting a bit of insight into their individual stories and just kind of observing this natural behavior. The mahouts have an incredible relationship with these individual elephants, and they'll stay with them all the time. And sometimes they'll dictate what's going on, just like before, just in the pool there. They encourage them to go in the water to encourage a bit of a bath, a bit of a scrub down to help maintain their skin health and things like that. But then when the elephant's like, nah, I'm done with my bath, off they go, and we kind of just follow along. So now we're off looking for another elephant, and her name is Ruby. I can't remember the names of the other two we just saw. They were funky Cambodian names. I couldn't pronounce them, but Ruby I think I can remember. They just bought Ruby some jackfruit, and I think I know exactly how she's going to crack into these. So elephants are really social creatures, and unfortunately for Ruby, her best mate passed away not too long ago. So hopefully they'll be able to integrate her into another of their little mini herds here so that she can, socialize as an elephant should. But she is just so cute, mate. She's absolutely gorgeous. How beautiful is she? Now Ruby's story is basically she was just living in one of the local communities here in one of the Bunong groups as a working elephant. She wasn't doing any particularly heavy lifting or strenuous work as such, but has just been part of that community and been with them for a very, very long time before coming here to retire at the Elephant Valley Project. And for the most part, the mahouts that continue to work with these elephants now they're here at the project are the ones that have grown up with them, worked with them for a very long time. So they still have that really special relationship. And that's an amazing thing about this project is they can continue to support both the elephants and the mahouts families. That entire community involvement is really, really important to be able to support people and elephants. Sitting here with her, it's really, really therapeutic. Like, all I can hear is the sounds of the jungle and the sounds that she's making. Her ears flapping against her body, her whipping that branch around, her chewing on the jackfruit, and that's it. This is a very immersive experience, and it's probably about as close as you're going to get to an experience with a wild elephant without actually seeing a wild elephant, because we're just surrounded by jungle. Everyone's chilling, the boys are chilling behind me. I'm just so relaxed and mesmerized sitting here watching it. And I think I'll go ahead and say it because I still haven't seen these guys out in the wild, believe it or not. But until that moment, this is probably my favorite Asian elephant experience I've ever had. It's just, there's something different about this one. It's not structured. It's just chill, man. It's so chill.